Okay, so we are with Professor Christiane Rousseau from the University of Montreal in Canada, and also an executive of the International Mathematical Union. Professor Rousseau, welcome.
Well, I'm very pleased to be here in Ames.
Excellent. So, Professor Rousseau is here at Ames, the African Institute of Mathematical Sciences, as the lead organizer for a major workshop here at Ames, and I'll like her to first of all tell us what this workshop is about.
This workshop is around the global change impact on disease and infectious species. And in fact, the planet Earth will be facing very severe challenges in the coming decades. They require a lot of scientific input to be able to face all these challenges. And these inputs are really to be interdisciplinary because we have impacts on biology, we will have impacts on economics and global change in climate, also more disasters. And these require interdisciplinary approach, and mathematics is an essential tool in these things. Certainly Africa will face many of these problems because of a big increase in population. At the same time, a change in climate will affect agriculture, so it's very important to prepare for the future. But for this workshop, we have chosen to target around infectious disease and invasive species, two very important problems in Africa. It's a joint workshop between several international unions. In fact, it's the first time we're having a joint activity with the International Union of Biological Science, some international unions in medicine, also the International Social Science Council, because it's really, the problems are multidisciplinary, and some of the solutions comes also with, we have to take action within the social framework, so it also involves social science. And we have decided so for this workshop to have some of the best international experts, and we have participants from all over Africa. More than 15 countries are represented. We have a significant number of women present. We have some experts from other countries. We just heard an expert from China who would speak of IPBES. So all of the international initiatives to push biodiversity preservation.
We're very delighted you chose to do this workshop here at Ames. Ames, as you know, is a major center of excellence for research and training in mathematical sciences, the first one being built here in Luxembourg in 2004. Founded by Neil Turok. So maybe if you can say a few words on the choice to do this excellent workshop right here at Ames. What was the motivation to do it here at Ames?
Well, certainly I knew, although it's my first time in Ames, Cape Town, so I knew the director, and one important thing is that you should have a hosting institution that could help you with the organization, which is what we found with Ames. What is also important is that in addition to the international group of people that came to the workshop, there is the students of Ames, and 18 students of Ames are benefiting from the workshop. So this is very important. I am very impressed by the vision of Neil Turok, because it's one thing to say, okay, we should help Africa, but it's another thing to say we do it in an efficient way that will pay. And I think he has some vision in how he really wants the best talents of Africa to make a research career and help in Africa. So when they take position as researchers, having research chairs so that you make sure that they can concentrate on research. And when you have these centers, these Ames centers, they bring students for several countries. So the message is that the different countries of Africa have to learn to work together also, which is not necessarily part of the culture, but Africa will move together as a continent. So I went to the next Einstein Forum in Dakar, and I really feel that Ames has started a movement and that we feel a continent in movement in Africa. So we really need to support this movement.
Excellent. Well, talking about the centers, currently, in addition to Ames here in Muizenberg, we have 4 other centers, as you know, one in Senegal, one in Tanzania, one in Ghana, one in Cameroon. The vision is to have maybe about 15 of them in the near future. So what would you say in general about the whole concept of Ames replicated in many different countries?
Well, the concept is successful. So when you see the first aim and you say it's not sufficient for Africa, so we need to have more. Having several concepts, campus is important also for some other reasons, sometimes the language. So for instance, the one in Senegal would function with more activities in French, and it's important if you want to reach to the different groups. But each time you have one, it's not just serving a country, which is what I like with the Ames concept. You always have mixing people from different countries, so they learn to. One important thing with Ames is that they bring the best experts in the world. So this is very good that we put the gifted African students in contact with the best researchers around the world, and then they can hope to compete at the international level. But they should be able to compete at the international level by doing their research in Africa. And this is the vision of Ames.
Excellent. Yes, the philosophy of Ames, as you correctly mentioned, is to have talented students from across Africa matched with talented faculty and excellent facilities within which they can create magical research and to try to address problems right here in the continent of Africa. So this is fantastic, but I'm pleased to say also the effort to replicate Ames across Africa was aided by a number of donor agencies, including the government of Canada. And I'm pleased to say Prime Minister Harper has donated $20 million a few years ago to help replicate Ames in other places. So as coming from Canada, I would like you to comment on that, contributions of Canada to make this a reality.
Well, I'm happy that my country contributed. I have to say that I'm very happy that my country is having Neil Turok as a scientist also working in Canada, because it's probably the main reason why Canada gives some money to Ames.
That is very much true, Neil Turok being the director of the Perimeter Institute for Theoretical Physics in Waterloo. So maybe final question, being the first time you are here at Ames in Muizenberg, can you share your experiences here? And yeah.
Okay, I really feel I'm impressed by the students. I can say that as an organizer, but not a specialist in the subject, I had less one-to-one conversation with the students, but I'm impressed how they ask very good questions and how they can interact with the speakers and networks. So it's really a very good experience.
Well, thank you so very much for coming, and we look forward to having you back here at Ames Muizenberg and maybe in some of the other Ames centers across Africa.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.